Hello friends, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to understand what is a defect and how to create a defect in software testing. And also, we will understand what are the defect components, what are the defect priority, what are the defect severity, what are the defect status, and we will see all these things with a sample defect. Okay. A defect is the error or errors that exist in the application. The application could be anything that you are testing. It could be software application or any kind of other application. The defect is also called bugs. When the actual result doesn't match the expected result, then that is a defect. We test the application to find out the defects in the application, to check if any defect exists in the application. And if there is no any defect in the application, then we pass the testing. Okay. But if there is a defect, then we fail the testing and we create the defect. If a defect is found, then a tester should report the defect. He creates a defect in the defect management tools to report the defect. So let's see an example with a sample defect, and we will discuss all these things in the sample defect. So let's see an example of a defect. Suppose you open a browser, okay, and you open Google and you type something here. Software testing. Click search and it should show the result, right? For an example, I have created a page. So let me open this, okay? And this is for example purpose only, okay? I have saved this page in my system. So I am showing from this page how a defect looks like, okay? So you type software testing here and click search. It's not showing. If it is supposed to show results like this, but you are getting this, that means it is a defect, okay? So with this example, I have created a sample defect over here. Let me explain you all these things, okay? These are defect components: defect ID, project, assigned to, reported by, creation date, environment, affected version, fixed version, status, priority, severity, due date, label, description, steps to reproduce, actual result, expected result, right? Screenshot and the links, okay? So all these things are different components of a defect, okay? So in our example, this is a defect for the issue we just saw, okay? We just got, okay? So this is the issue. This is how we create the defect. So these are the different components, but depending on the project, you might not use all these components, okay? So it depends on your project, okay? So first of all, you mention the defect ID. I have mentioned defect 1, okay? And you mention the project name, okay? This is project name. You mention the assigned to or assignee, and in most of the situation it will be the developer who is going to fix the defect, okay, his name. and reported by. So if you have found the defect and if you are creating the defect, then your name will be here. So tester who created the defect or who is creating the defect, his name will be here. Creation date, okay, on whatever date you create the defect, okay. Environment, on whichever environment you find this defect. So the environment could be QA or UAT or anything, it could be dev also. So in whichever environment you got the defect, you have to mention that environment here. And the affected version, in whichever version you found the defect, so you mention the version here, okay. And the fixed version, it will be added later because it depends on whichever version the defect will be fixed, okay. And the defect status could be open or new, okay, open, assigned, fixed, reopen, closed, or it could be even rejected also, okay. So these are the different defect status, okay. Priority means how important is the defect to fix, or we can wait, or we have to fix now, okay. So we mention that in the priority section. So it is like a blocker or a high or medium or low. So these are the different priorities, okay. Severity, it shows what is the impact of the defect in the application or system, okay. So these are the different severity levels, critical, major, moderate, minor, okay. So these are the different severity levels. Due date, so the due date to fix the defect, so this is the due date to fix the defect. Label, so in label we mention some extra parameters to categorize the defect, to associate the defect, okay. So this could be anything, so I have given some example here, okay. And this is the description. So this is the defect description. So in our example, let me show you. In this example, okay, in this example, so Google search doesn't show any result. It is showing file not found error, right? So this is what it was showing, right? File not found error, right? So that was the defect, okay. So this is the defect description. After that, steps to reproduce. In steps to reproduce, we mention the steps which we should follow to get the defect or to reproduce the defect. So these are the steps which we should follow to get this error or this defect. Or to reproduce, we call it reproduce, to reproduce this error. So what steps we follow? First of all, to reproduce the defect, first of all we have to open the browser. That is what we did. We opened the browser, right? And after that we open the Google page. So in the browser we enter the Google page URL, right, which is www.google.com, right? And after that we enter something or text. We enter a text in the search box, right? And after that we click the search button, right? So this is what we did, right? So let me show you. So this is what we did, right? So google.com, right? And after that we software testing. So this is what we search, right? And if there is no defect, this is what we should get. But since we have a defect, we got this result, right? So this is a sample only, okay? For showing the defect sample, I had saved the Google search page in my local system and I am showing the defect this way. This is only for showing you an example of a defect. Let's go to the defect. So click search button. After clicking the search button, we get this defect, right? Okay, so after that, actual result. Okay, so in this section we mention whatever test result we got. Okay, so clicking the search button doesn't return any search results. It is showing file not found message or error. Okay, so this is the actual result. Okay, and what we are expecting in the testing, after clicking the search button, the Google page should show the search results. Okay, so in our example we are expecting this is the expected result, but 1 minute guys, here, right? And this is the actual result we got. Okay, this is what we have mentioned in the defect: actual result, expected result. Okay, so when we create a defect, we have to give the screenshot. Okay, so that it will be easy for the developer or whoever is going to fix the defect. It will be easy for him to understand the defect. Okay, so let me take the screenshot of this issue. Okay, so you can use any tool for taking the screenshot. As per your project, you can have different tools to take a screenshot. I am using print screen from my keyboard. So I am pressing the keyboard print screen and I am taking this screenshot and I am pasting this in Paint. Okay, and I am saving this screenshot somewhere. Okay, defect, this was the defect number, right? So I'm just using the defect number. So defect _1 was the defect number. So defect _1 screenshot. Okay, so this is the defect I save here. Okay, so this is the screenshot, and after that let me go to here. So this is the defect I just saved. Okay, let me mention, let me copy the path. So this is the path I copied. Okay, so I mentioned the path of the defect here. So path of the screenshot. Okay, so this is the path of the, this is the defect, and this is the path. Okay, so I mentioned the path here. Let me make it like this, and links. Okay, this is the links to other issues, other testing artifacts. For example, if the defect is related to any test case or any other defect, then we mention the link here, or we link this defect to those test cases or defects from here. So this is a sample defect. Okay, so this is how you can create a defect. So these are the different components, and as I already told you, you might not need all these components. It depends on your project. Okay, so these are the most common components in defect creation. Okay, you might need all these components, or you might not need, or you might need to use other components also. It depends on your project. Okay, I hope this video was helpful to you to understand the defect and the defect creation. Please let me know if this video was helpful to you or not. That is all in this video. Thank you for watching this video.